And this is the thing about cousins, is that they're basically like sisters with no consequences.
Yeah. You don't realise how much losing that support network actually has.
Like your body is used to high anxiety and then you slam the brakes on. The transition is too fast for you.
Like if you speak to any successful person and ask how they got where they got, there's always this windy, crazy path and just random opportunities here and there.
I know like a loneliness epidemic gets talked a lot about young people and men, but like also I think we have a loneliness epidemic for old people.
Yeah. Like it's platonic love, but it's like I would die for some of my friends.
Cheers!
So we are going to bring snacks to every podcast that we do, and we're going to try and make them nostalgic snacks until we run out of nostalgic snacks, and then we'll just do something else. But I bought wheat crunchies with me today because I used to eat these as a kid.
Oh,
and
like
I've recently started to eat them again as an adult, and they're just really nice. I love a like bacon flavoured crisp, and weirdly a lot of the bacon flavoured crisps are vegan. I don't know why. Yeah. Also, these are wheat. Remember last time you said some crisps are not
Oh,
potato?
maybe
So you can try them. You might like these.
Yeah, because I don't like potato crisps. Okay, I bought fizzy strawberry laces. It's not much of a change because last time I bought normal strawberry laces, but because these were like my ultimate favourite, fizzy or not, I was like, let's complete the strawberry laces collection first.
Yeah.
I used to just stuff in my face with entire packets of these as a kid. It's probably why I have so many cavities now. But yeah.
You were more of a sweets person, I feel like.
Yeah.
I never really liked sweets. I always liked crisps and biscuits.
I don't like crunch. Oh
Cheers.
yeah. Cheers!
So now.
Let me just have my Coke. Because water is disgusting.
Emily does not drink water, which is insane to
Do you
me.
know?
I don't like water, but I make myself drink it because I know I need it.
My first word, well, one of three, was juice.
Really?
And I'm convinced it's because even as a kid, I hated water. Like, it genuinely,
crazy.
it's not like, oh, it's not that nice. It makes me gag.
Really?
It's disgusting.
Do you know what my first word is?
I do. You should tell
So
it.
my first word, my dad is a very big football fan, and I was copying him watching the TV, and my very first word was fucking ref. I don't know who was playing, but he was clearly angry at the referee.
It's cool though, because I wish I could remember my first, like, curse word.
Yeah. Also, it's very fitting that we're in a bed, because this is our first sleepover. When was the last time we had a sleepover? Like, Emily's actually staying at my house today because she's flying back to Canada tomorrow, unfortunately. But, yeah, when was the last time we even had a sleepover?
Oh my god, this is another one of those things where it's like, there was a last time for
I know,
everything, and
and
you
we
never
didn't know.
knew that it was going to be the last time.
So this is our first sleepover.
And when you come to Canada,
I
you
know,
can
and then we'll
sleep
sleep
over
over
in
in Canada as well.
That would be cute as
Which
hell.
is very cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we said we were going to be more focused today and actually stick to a kind of routine.
Try.
Because we're very back and forth, excitable people. We both
Yeah.
conversate in the same... I would call it a really fun way, but maybe it's kind of difficult to follow. So,
I think, yeah, it's a fun way. We bounce around.
Yeah.
But we get there eventually.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Think so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were gonna, because we're obviously doing the Artist Way book together, which we mentioned last time, and this is technically week 2 now. So we want to talk about the Artist Way book and how we found week 2 and some of the tasks. But also, we were going to talk about our childhood.
Yeah. But we were thinking about how you change as you grow
Yeah.
older, and you don't see it happening until you're in it.
Yeah.
Or looking back.
Yeah.
And what we would, like, want to gain back from our
yeah.
childhood.
Everything always changes when you grow up, doesn't it? Because I had literally no fear when I was a kid. When I was with you anyway. In other situations, maybe I was a bit more shy. But when I was with you, I was like, we can do anything, we're going to be pop stars.
Yeah. I really believed it.
I think we were in our own way. But then, yeah, as you get older, you kind of lose that a little bit. And it just kind of like gradually changes over time. And it's really interesting to look back and like look at how we were as kids and try and figure out when did we lose it?
Yeah.
How did we lose it? And what have we gained back from it again? Because I feel like now that we've been doing this kind of stuff together, we've gained, and we've grown a lot. We're both older now. We've had a lot of life experience. I feel like we have picked up some of those things from childhood that we did lose along the way, but we found them again. There's obviously still more to find, but yeah, I think that's a cool thing.
You know what I just remembered that was like a really sad little moment in my life recently that's related? Okay, this is weird. I was at the dentist, but we were talking about anxiety and how it can affect like every aspect of your health. And I have like breathing issues that are very like definitely tied to mental health as opposed to like there's no like physical problem with my chest, but I very often feel like I just can't breathe or can't get like a full breath in. And he was asking me like when that started, and I was like, oh, I guess I was like 12. And he was like, and what was happening around then? And I was like, well, I guess I was, you know, like my hormones were starting to go crazy. I always thought it was just to do with that. And he's like, okay, but was it like a stressful time? And I was like, honestly, yeah. That was kind of when I like just started like university at 12, secondary school, and everything was kind of suddenly different and scary and stressful. And that happened to coincide with the beginning of these like issues. And I'm like, I'm 30 now and there's still health issues I can trace back to the year like I started secondary school. So I mean, there was something in that.
Secondary school is just, it changes so much in you, I feel like. When I got to secondary school, everything just kind of shifted. And like, I went, because also my primary school is a lot smaller than my secondary school. So then you get to secondary school and you're just like, oh, there's loads of people here that I don't really know. And you kind of just become a very different version of yourself. Like, I feel like the change from year 6 to year 7 is quite a drastic one.
It's terrifying.
When you think about it, it's literally just 1 year, but you're like, you change so much within that time.
Yeah.
Is that 12? Are you 12 then?
No, I think you're like 10, 11.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that whole first 2 years was like the transition period, I'd say. As soon as your hormones start going crazy, it's like everyone's obsessed with fitting in.
Yeah, you don't want to be your own person at all. It's just like, no, I want to be the same as everyone else. If like one slight thing is different, it just throws you off, and you're like, you kind of get called the outsider because kids are mean.
But you know what I love about like the younger generation now is that's like less and less of a thing. Like there's so much bigger on
that's
like,
true.
Being
Actually,
like having unique identities, and everyone is so much more open minded now.
Maybe that's something to do with social media. I don't know.
Definitely,
because we basically were both in that era where we grew up with no social media, and then Facebook kind of kicked in around year 8 for us.
Most of what we consumed was like media controlled, and a lot of it was just skinny celebrities who all dressed one way. There was like one look, one right way to be at any one time, whereas now you can go on social media and find your group. Like there's all kinds of different eccentric
the aesthetics,
groups.
Isn't there? Like clean girl aesthetic, or like, I can't think of another, mob wife aesthetic. What
else even is there?
I know, but there's so many things now, and like people, in a way, I feel like it's kind of a paradox, because in a way it's like a good thing, because people are like, oh, that feels like more me. But then I think it's also just like there are just too many things now. People feel like they have to conform to one of these things.
Still trying to find a
like,
box.
Especially as a teenager, like I can't imagine being a teenager now in this era with like all of this going on social media.
I'm just like, oh my God, what would I put online?
Yeah.
I mean, I did put a lot of weird stuff online,
Same.
but I was at least somewhat like refrained.
Yeah. When we did it online back then, no one was like looking at our Twitter or our Facebook statuses and like weird stuff. Whereas now I feel like anything and anyone can go viral, and I think kids will still post stupid stuff because they are kids, but there's a lot more consequences to it. I feel like there weren't a lot of consequences.
People weren't
back then.
screenshotting something you said 10 years ago and bringing that up.
No, they weren't.
Like, stuff would get kind of buried.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you say one thing.
Yeah.
And
you can get cancelled. The whole cancel culture thing is like...
So much we can talk
I
about
know,
here.
literally.
So much we can talk
But
about
as
here.
kids, it's just like you give yourself... You have... Well, when we were young, in that era, like you had that grace of just like being able to make mistakes, and then people kind of just like letting them slide. And then you learn and you grow. Whereas I feel like the whole problem with cancel culture is that you're cutting people off before they have a chance to like think about what they've said and learn and grow from it. And I don't know if that's the most productive way to like fix society.
If someone has an opinion you disagree with and you attack them, that you're just going to alienate yourself and from them. They're going to think, okay, this just proves my point that your side of this argument is erratic and scary, and I feel defensive, and people double down. Whereas if you actually like just allow for open debate and questions, if you're not scared to be asked questions and you're not scared to give answers, then people can actually educate themselves. Like, I look back, I was like a closeted homophobe.
Really?
Like, I don't know if I mentioned in the last podcast that I'm like super, like I'm gay as gay as you can get. But like, we grew up in a very like Catholic family, Italian Catholic family, and I went to a Catholic primary school as well. And I definitely said things, because I was, looking back, it should have been obvious how gay I was. But back then I was like, oh, it's definitely wrong. You know, I'm not going to treat anyone differently, but they will go to hell. Like, they will definitely go to hell. I mean, I didn't post anything like that on Facebook, but I might have.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have really, like, nowadays, how do you redeem yourself from that? There's not really, like, it's so hard.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like, when you're kids, your environment and the people, it's normally your family that shapes your opinions and your beliefs and, like, where you're going as a kid. And, like, we both went to, what's it called, church school? What was it called? We used to call it Italian school. No, that's something different.
That was different.
We did go to some kind of church school.
Was it when you did communion that we
we did our Holy Communion and that kind of stuff. And it's just like, we were surrounded by that. And as a kid, you just kind of believe whatever situation you're put in. So my beliefs, obviously, as a kid, are very different to my beliefs now. And it's like, you're not giving anyone space to grow if you just hold them at what they say in the moment. Because, like, people do grow and change. But I know that that's, like, quite a controversial topic because there's, like, a lot of people who, and, you know, to an extent, cancel culture is good because it means that we're calling people out more when they do say bad things, which I do think we should still say. But then I feel like instead of coming at it as in an aggressive way and calling them out in an aggressive way, we can call them out in, like, a gentle way and be like, hey, have you thought about how this might feel to hear as someone on the other side, or, like, you know, that kind of stuff, and, like, open conversation to more nuance and other ideas, which I feel like doesn't happen
exactly
at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, even me from 5-10 years ago would have opinions that now I think are gross, or now I disagree with. Like,
Same.
there just needs to be room for that, like, conversation. The second conversation gets shut down, there's not an argument anymore. It's like a war.
Yeah,
that's how it feels. It escalates to violence, like, really quickly.
Yeah, it does. We need to, like, give people space to talk about these things. But yeah, I think that's such a big topic. There's so much to say on that topic. I don't know. We were talking about childhood.
I was like, we're gonna stick to a structure, and this is what we're gonna talk about.
This is not the structure we planned.
Okay.
We go on tangents. Like, tangents are a big thing for us. Okay, so there's going to be many tangents.
This is just how our brains work.
You're along for the ride.
Anyway,
also we're both blind. Like, we need to make this. I can't even see
even with my
theme.
And the other thing that we wanted to talk about was, like, I think we were more, like, socially connected, because like, family events as kids are huge. You're fully integrated in your family. We were lucky we had a big family, so every Christmas, every birthday, every regular day, you lived on the same street, we'd be together. And then as you get older and you kind of drift, you don't realise how much losing that support network actually, like, has.
Yeah.
And then you change, like, so rapidly as well between the ages of about, like, let's say 11 and 15, that if you don't see each other for even, like, a year, and then you see each other again, it feels like there's this, like, wow, we both changed so much. It's almost like you become not unrecognisable to each other, but you kind of have to get to know each other again. Just kind of, you take it all for granted when you're a kid because it's all given to you. Your parents are putting in the effort to keep everyone together. And, like, Nonna and Nonna would talk all the time about how important it is for everyone to come together and to spend time together, and you're like, yeah, like, whatever. And then you get older and you're like, oh, they're right, it's the most important thing in the world.
And honestly, I feel like other cultures do it better. Like, in the UK and just kind of Western culture in general, we just don't, like, place importance on hanging out with family or friends. Like, it's just like work, basically. Earn money, be successful. And no one is saying, like, you need to see your family more, you need to see your friends more. Like, that doesn't really get pushed at you at all. And so it's very easy to get caught up in the rat race and just, like, keep trying to do stuff and you forget about your family. Whereas other cultures, like, I was in Italy last year on my birthday, and I was with my boyfriend. We went back to the town where his grandparents live, so he kind of grew up there and like lived. Well, he spent a lot of time there. And in that town, there's just so many old people sat in groups outside cafes playing board games or just having a coffee together. I'm like, you never see a group of old people together in the UK just hanging out.
The only time I see elderly people out and about in the UK is when they get in their shopping.
Yeah.
And often it's just them struggling up a rainy street and I'm just feeling bad for them. But it's the same in Spain.
Yeah.
Like if you go for a walk along the beach or just around town in Spain, there'll just be elderly couples sitting on benches.
Yeah.
Just like either watching a sunset or like looking at this, and they're out till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm like, I need to go to bed, and these like 90-year-olds have a better nightlife than me right now. They do. There's a different. It's about quality of life, not how much money is in the bank.
Yeah, I actually like. Have you seen what is it? A Netflix show about blue zones before?
No.
So blue zones are like the areas around the world where.
Sorry, yes.
You've seen it?
Something about this. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing you saw.
Okay, it's like areas around the world where the longest living people are, and like it's kind of going through like what makes an area a blue zone, like what do you need basically for longevity. And like obviously there's things like the certain types of food they eat, the nutrition, but one big thing that like came up was the connection that people have, and people that live, I think there was one place in Sicily, I want to say, that was a blue zone. And oh no, that one was about the sheep. So basically,
sheep or shape?
Sheep, because the old people in Sicily used to walk up the hills or something to walk the sheep, and because they were walking, that kept their. So that was one about me. I can't remember where. Someone can correct me afterwards, but there's somewhere in the world, there is a country where basically the old people are just connected, and like Japan. I think it was Japan.
Yeah,
maybe.
Was it the one that I know there was one? I feel like it was Japan where they talked about people having a purpose in community.
Yes.
Like cooking for people.
Yeah, I think
like
it was.
Reason
It was in Okinawa in Japan.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it was
wrong,
there.
but I think that's right.
It was them, and I think, and yeah, it was just like placing importance on them hanging out with family, and not even just family, but just like they'd call extended friends family, and like people would come in and out of their house all the time, and just like everyone was always connected, and everyone was always with people. And even there was one old lady or old man, I'm really not remembering this very well, but there was one old person who didn't have any physical family left, like blood family left. And then this other family just brought them in and would like go around. He'd be invited around to dinners all the time, and just like, and we just don't have that here.
I mean, that's what Nono goes on about every time. Like today, he was like, our house was like a church. Like, and he said, the second I'm up in the morning, the door is open. Like, and obviously that was quite extreme. I don't think I could deal with people just coming in and out of my house on the daily, but that is what it was like for them.
Yeah.
It was
they
just
still are now.
Yeah, they still
as
are.
like old people, they still have people that come in.
And like it's pretty clear that's kept them going.
Yeah,
like they love that. It's like highlight of their day. The doorbell rings and they're like, oh my god, yay! Like more friends.
Yeah.
Like people would just come around and be like, oh, I had spare soup. I brought it over. I grew this in the garden. I brought it over. I wanted to play a game of cards. Let's sit down. Like, and it just it gives them something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like that's so nice.
Yeah. Because I genuinely do think we have, I know like a loneliness epidemic gets talked a lot about young people and men, but like also I think we have a loneliness epidemic for old people.
Yeah.
Because like as you get older, like it becomes so much harder to find that connection.
And I think part of that is younger people being so career focused and less family focused. Everyone's too busy to even like one day a week go visit your grandparents. You know, it's like there's always excuse. And like we were saying last time, I'm so lucky that I I basically lived with Nonna and Nonna before I went away, because I was always like, oh, I'm too busy, I'm this, I'm that. And when I actually started devoting time with them and spending more time with them, it was easy. Like I would just, like when I wasn't there, I'd still just pick up the phone and call them because it just made me happy. And I was like, why haven't I always done this? Like just because I had stuff going on doesn't mean like a 10-minute conversation a week is not that hard. I always had 10 minutes to call. So
it's like when you do it, you're like, oh, I should do this more, and then you get distracted with other work and life things, and like really we just need to like focus in on what is actually important to us and our values. And I think that's actually something that came up in my morning pages when I was writing last year and this year, has just been like, what do I actually value the most? And like family is a really big one for me, and spending time with my family, like I value that a lot. Every time I'm with them, I'm just like, oh, this is what life is about, and I'm just like, I want to do this more.
I noticed for me, when I did the Artist Way the very first time, I was so unbothered about family and relationships. I was like, oh, that part's fine. Like I didn't think it was lacking, but I didn't think it was good either. I just felt like it wasn't that important because I didn't think about it. And it's just because I was always placing so much importance on other aspects of my life. And since moving to Canada, now I'm like, this is so important. Have I made time for it? Like every week, like it's like a really big value for me now. But it's because I was taking it for granted before. Because I just assume people will always be there. I'm like, it's fine.
Do.
I'm like, our relationships are fine. I don't need to put in extra effort. Like, yes, you do.
Sometimes it's that whole thing of absence makes the heart grow fonder is a real thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you move away, or as soon as someone leaves, you're like, oh, now we need to make this work. We need to put in effort. And I feel like people just need to put that effort in more consistently, not just with family, but also with friends. As well. Like it's very easy to kind of
just like, obviously everyone knows family is important, everyone knows romantic relationships are important, but like friendships often get missed.
I think
and actually
so
they're really important.
Honestly, like my friends are like, I love my friends. Like it's still like love, like it's platonic love, but it's like I would die for some of my friends, like genuinely. And that's something I didn't realize till I was an adult either, because I don't think I really had friends that I, outside of family obviously, because you're like best friend. Outside of family, I didn't really have friends that I really connected with, because I lost myself when I was a teenager, and I had to like find myself again. It was like everyone I spoke to, I had this mask up, and I didn't even realize I had a mask up. I'd be like, I don't really want to. I'd get like tired hanging out with people, or I just couldn't be bothered to put effort in. And looking back, it's like, well, yeah, because you were pretending to like what they liked. You were pretending to be this person, and like that's exhausting. As soon as I kind of dropped the mask and found real friends that I could be myself with, they suddenly like became super important to me.
Yeah.
So actually,
that's what happens though. I think like as you grow, you will outgrow certain friendships, and you'll grow into other friendships as well. And it's okay. Like it's okay to leave some friends behind if they're not the same things as you anymore, and you just kind of grow apart. But that can be a really difficult thing sometimes.
I look back, I've had some extremely problematic, toxic friendships, like horrifically toxic, but I still wouldn't change them, because at the time I was having so much fun, and I made like the best memories, and I learned really like important lessons. So I'm like, that friend, yes, it didn't work out well in the end, but in that time in my life, it was okay. Like that's what I needed. I got something, I grew from it. I still had a good time.
Yeah. I want to try one of them. Yeah, try a wheat crunchy.
I'm nervous.
They're really good. Do you like crispy bacon flavoured stuff?
I don't know, I don't really...
Try it.
Most crispy bacon flavoured stuff is potato crisp.
I'm going to try one of these. Oh, I missed. Like it?
It's not terrible.
Oh, these are sour.
Mmm. Good, right?
What were we talking about? We do this a lot.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Identity.
That was going to be the whole thing.
We didn't even introduce the theme. The whole theme of this podcast today was supposed to be about identity, because that is also the theme of week 2 of the Artist Way. And we were talking about like when we were teenagers and fitting in, and I also feel like I struggled to fit in when I was a teenager. I feel like my primary school years were really fun. I don't really have any bad memories of primary school. Like everything was fun, I was confident, we used to play games all the time, and like
that really mean teacher you mentioned.
Oh yeah, that mean teacher. Because maybe there were some bad memories. But overall I feel like I had a positive experience. Then I went into secondary school, and I got there and I was just like, oh my god, there's so many people here, and a lot of them had kind of formed their own friendships because they'd been like in primary school together, and so it was really awkward. I was already a bit shy, but I just went super into myself, because I was like, oh my god, this is so like scary and awkward, and my school was so big. I think, was there like, I want to say 8 classes in a year?
Something like that.
And they had 30 kids in each class.
It was huge.
Like, it was actually massive when you think about it. I just find it really difficult to like fit in, and I was always one of those people that had like one best friend, and then I'd be in a group.
Yeah.
But like there'd be one friend who would be like, you're my best friend, and then I would just sort of like, I'd kind of flick between groups. But yeah, I think I also had my gymnastics friends, because I grew up doing gymnastics, and I did gymnastics from the age of like 4 to 18, I want to say. And my gymnastics group were like my core friendship group, because I just had more in common with them than I did with my school friends. And it was just, there was a weird dynamic, because my gymnastics friends were so different to my school friends, and I could fit in with both, but that made me feel like, who am I? Like I'm not 100% like these people, I'm not 100% like these people. I can like hang out with anyone. I feel like I'm quite like a social chameleon in that way. I think you are too, whereas like anyone we hang out with will just like start acting like them, basically.
Have like 30 personalities.
Yeah, so many.
Friends,
which is why I struggle so much when like a lot of friends are in the
when
same
they
place.
meet.
Like,
I'm like, I'll do a stupid voice, and I'll be like, shit, that voice was reserved for this friend, and now this friend is looking at me like I'm crazy.
I did that one year for my birthday. I was like, because obviously I have loads of like friends and none of them know each other, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that thing where you just bring all your friends together in one group and then we'll have a great time. It was horrendous for me anyway. Everyone else had a great time, but I was just like, I didn't know how to act, and there were so many different people there, and like I'm also very much a like people pleaser, and I want to make sure everyone's okay, and because they didn't know each other, I just spent the entire evening running around to different people being like, hey, how are you okay, good, right, hey, how are you okay, and it was so stressful, and I was like, I'm never doing that again.
I'd love to get to the bottom of why we are both so much like that.
I know
there's got to be some similarism.
Yeah, because
Rosie's the same.
I feel like we have we have different personalities, but also very weirdly similar.
It's like we are basically same genes, different environment. There's a lot of rooted, similar foundational stuff, and yet our experiences like have us on slightly different parallel paths.
Because I don't feel like you were ever shy.
That's crazy to me.
Really?
Because I was so shy.
You were always louder than me, so then I was like, okay.
I was always confident with you.
Yeah.
But that was different.
Yeah, that's
because I grew up with you.
Yeah.
When I went to secondary school, I was like terrified every day.
Really?
This is like a dark story for another day, but I think my whole eating disorder was rooted in feeling like, why don't people like me? Why am I having such a hard time making friends? And I just fixated on this idea that, oh, it must be because I'm fat. Like, I literally, and I think a lot of that was media. And like, you pick up any magazine from the early 2000s or watch any UK British TV show, like Fat Families, super size versus super skinny, like everyone was obsessed with weight. And I think one person or two people made a comment about my weight. Like, it wasn't even like derogatory, it was just two comments, and I fixated so bad. And then I completely retreated within myself. And I remember one of my friends saying to me in year 8, we were walking home, and she was like, Emily, what happened to you? Like, when I met you, you were like so bubbly, you were so fun, and now I feel like you just walk around all day looking like sad, like you're so quiet, like you never really want to talk.
Really?
And I was like, I don't know what happened. It was like the quickest decline ever. And I think it's taken me like over a decade to try and get back to how I was before. But I was so shy.
Really?
Like, and it kind of, because like with acting as well, because I like love acting, and when I was a kid it was just pure fun. There was no anxiety involved. I just did it because I loved it. Like, it didn't matter. I could get up and do a scene and a teacher could be like, that was crap, and I'd be like, okay, cool, what can I do better? Like, I didn't care. And then my anxiety and my confidence took such a dive in secondary school that I still am trying to recover from anxiety that is like, it's blocking me now. Like, I get like shaky if I'm meeting new people sometimes. Yeah.
So because I think I knew that you had like you got anxious around other people, like social anxiety or whatever you want to call it, but I think because I never saw you in that setting, I only ever saw you when it was like either with family, which we're both very comfortable around, or just for ourselves. I think I did hang out with you and your friends, but they would be your close friends.
I mean, I remember hanging out in a park with you and drinking with my friends, and then our mum was finding out that we lied to them about where we were. So we did sometimes.
WKDs. So we had the blue drink.
It was 100% WKDs. Yeah. Good times.
And K-cider. I used to drink a lot of K-cider, which is awful. It's like £1.
Or if I was in a big
Maybe
group.
I just thought because you were into acting as well, and in my head I just always think that all actors are confident because they can do, like, it's something that's so scary to me is acting in front of someone. So I'm like, if you can do that, then you can do anything.
Part of me, that's the reason I still like it despite my anxiety, is because when I'm in it, it's like a reprieve. It's like, while I'm waiting to do it and while I'm in class, like, I'm terrified, but if you actually like get into character, it's like, oh, I forgot like who I was for a minute.
Interesting.
And you know, it's like a nice escape from anxiety in a way. But yeah.
I guess the similarities do come from genetics, maybe.
I think a lot of it is. But
I also think go on, you go.
You can go.
No, you go.
I was gonna say our dads are brothers and very similar, very different, but they also they were raised a similar way and probably therefore raised us a similar way.
Yeah.
And that probably rubbed off on us both.
Yeah, I think it did. And we did also spend a lot of time together when we were kids.
You were like close enough, I could tell you everything, but not so close in my immediate family that I was like, this is embarrassing to tell you, I'm scared you're going to tell mum, kind of like.
Yeah, this is the thing about cousins, is that they're basically like sisters with no consequences.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell them anything and they're not going to tell your parents, or like, you know, get you in trouble. So it's different. It's a very different relationship. You have a sister, but I don't have any sisters. I only have brothers. So it was like a very different vibe to talk to a cousin who's a girl than two brothers.
Oh, I'm so glad we had each other.
I know, me too.
Like, genuinely.
It was cute. It was really cute. So, the tasks.
We want to do this question.
We have just gone so off, like, we had such a structure and an order today.
I thought we were so ready.
We just can't. We can't not go on tangents. It's impossible. To the week 2 of Artist Way, because it was about identity, so I feel like we've talked about our identity quite a bit. And random tangents and things, but this week we had a few different tasks, and one of them was to write down 20 things that you enjoy doing, which is actually really difficult to write down 20 things because that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it took, one of mine was making tea. I do love my making tea.
It's a little
like, I love having my tea in the morning, and that is something I enjoy doing. But obviously I had other things, and I think some of mine were like, rock climbing, I said, or dancing. Pottery was one of them. But all of that was quite interesting to like try and figure out what you like. And I always tried to like think back to when I was a kid, because I liked so many things when I was a kid, and if someone asked me what I liked, I'd be like, I like this.
Yeah.
Whereas as an adult, I'm just like, I do find it harder to find
because
things.
we don't do stuff a lot of the time. I think as an adult as well, it's about energy levels for me, because as a kid I was so energetic and I just wanted to have fun like all the time, and now as an adult I'm so burnt out all the time that my idea of like the best day ever is like I don't have to get out of bed, or I just don't have to do things, so I've just become really lazy in actually like treating myself to stuff.
Energy is like, but you know what I really struggle with is when, because I get tired from obviously teaching a lot or doing a lot of work, and I'm like, right, I'm going to book a day off and I just want to be at home that day, I don't want to talk to anyone because I'm going to have a home day. And when I do that, I wake up in the morning and I am so anxious when I don't have a plan, and I just like, I sit there and I just like, especially if it's like a dark, cloudy, rainy day as well, I just cannot like function properly, and I will just be like a little white potato, because I'm just like, I don't know what to do, I need to do something and I don't know, and I feel like I'm one of those people that like, I need a loose plan.
Do you know what really helps me with that feeling is booking a class I can't cancel for the morning, like going to a yoga class at like 9, and I won't want to do it. I'll wake up and I'll be like, no, why don't I do this? But once I've done that one thing, it's easier to like keep that momentum going. Otherwise, if I start the day slow, my day's gonna be slow the whole day, which is fine sometimes, but sometimes you want to make the most of your day off, and then it's, for me also, I feel like when you're like go, you don't have time to process stuff. So sometimes you finally have a day off, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, why do I want to cry now?
Literally.
And then I spend the whole day crying about, I don't even know what I'm crying about.
Do you know what my therapist said to me? Actually, this reminds me that she said, because I spoke to her and I was like, why am I struggling with this? Like, I need a day off. I want a day off. Why, when I get there, can I not handle the day off? And she was like, if you are in like high anxiety all the time and your body's used to feeling high anxiety, and sometimes that works well for like running a business, you kind of need to be like switched on to be able to do stuff. But if you're like, your body is used to high anxiety and then you slam the brakes on and you suddenly have nothing to do, it's the transition is too fast for you, and you need to like do a slower transition. So she was like, maybe instead of doing nothing, do something, but something that you enjoy. And even like I find it on holiday sometimes, like even when you get somewhere, I guess it's a bit different when you're in a different environment, it feels different, but like you can't just sit and do nothing straight away. Like I need to go and explore, I need to go and figure out, like I have to still be doing things, and then eventually like you can get into that vegetable state where you're like, oh, I'm just chill doing nothing today. But like my nervous system cannot hack it when I go from like super busy one day to just nothing the next day.
It makes sense, because when you're super busy, your brain is like firing 1,000 thoughts a second, and if you suddenly stop and there's nothing to fill those thoughts, it's like my brain's like, okay, we need 1,000 things to think about because we're used to going at this speed, so here's 1,000 things to worry about while you sit here.
Exactly.
And that's why it's like, okay, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, it's like now you're gonna sit in bed and cry all day.
But I've never cried as much as I cried last year.
Yeah, that does happen. We need to give ourselves something to do.
My list of 20 things I enjoy doing also took me ages, and I feel like there's a lot of repeat stuff on here. But I put Sims on here after you gave me that.
We did play that
idea because that's true. I love playing The Sims. Mine is just like a lot of sports, which is interesting. Like, I love sports stuff so much. I just don't do much of it. I do more in Canada now because it's a sporty place. And there's a lot more options. Like, the sea is right there. But yeah, this took me ages. I got stuck at about number 5. I did the first 5 easy, and then I was like, oh my god, I want to do 20.
Yeah.
But it's a good like exercise for ideas as well.
Yeah.
Like what I want to do.
But maybe that's a challenge for you if you're watching this today. Try and write down 20 things that you enjoy doing.
And then try and do one of them.
Yes.
Or an aspect of one of them.
Exactly. That was one of the tasks as well, was to actually do, I think there might be 2 of them. Or try and do 2 things in that list, which was interesting.
You have to fit them in on Sunday.
Yeah. Another task that was actually quite difficult, which was in week 1 and also in week 2, was to come up with imaginary lives. And I found that one really... It was quite fun, but also like trying to think of like what
were your lives?
My lives on my laptop. Mine was a traveller, like a nomad traveller. So to just be someone who like doesn't have a home and just travels around anywhere and everywhere. And then mine was a movie director, like directing films. Owning an animal sanctuary was one of mine as well. Like, I'd actually love to do that. I feel like just being surrounded by... If I just had loads of land and just be surrounded by animals, like that would be a dream for me. What does that say? Oh, I thought it said a dentist. No, a ceramicist. So like pottery. I love pottery, and I would love to be able to like just do that. But that was my second list. So in week 2 you write 5 more. I don't know where my first week is. You say yours while I'm trying to find the first one.
Mine were horseback rider. I wanted to put jockey, but then I remembered how sad I get when the horses get injured doing that, and I was like, I can never do that. But some kind of job where I'm just like riding horses all day, because I freaking love horses. Scuba diver / marine biologist. I nearly did that at university.
Fun. That sounds cool.
I wonder what my life would be like if I'd done that instead. Stunt woman. Oh, if I could change one thing right now, that would be my number 1. I would love to be a stunt person. Pilot and dancer, which is interesting. I don't feel like that anymore. I've changed my mind since last week.
It's funny, isn't it?
I don't like dancing. Maybe I was in the mood to dance last week. Yeah, that's changed since.
So my other 5 that I wrote last week were a musician, which I think I actually really loved the keyboard when I was growing up. I loved playing the keyboard.
Same. That was on my 20 things I
loved to do that as a job. A writer, but also now looking at that, I don't think I would like to be a writer actually. I don't know why I wrote that.
We're so fickle.
I know. A photographer. I think I do like photography, and I think that could be fun. And just an artist. Oh, and an interior designer. I do love interiors. I love that kind of stuff.
You can't see everything, but like I would pay you to design my apartment.
Oh, genuinely.
Yeah.
But it's funny because this whole task really made me like think about how we got to where we are today as well. And I think that's a really interesting thing when you look back and you're like, this tiniest little thing, like either a decision or a conversation or something like that happened, and that led me to where I am today. Like, if I think about my story, I was a gymnast for a very long time. I loved gymnastics, went to school, didn't really love any subject apart from psychology. That was literally the only subject I enjoyed. Then went to university, and I only studied marketing because I didn't know what to do at uni, and my older brother did marketing, and he was like, it's fun, try it. So I was like, cool, I'll do marketing. Did that for a year, realised I actually didn't like it, but I liked the psychology side of marketing, like why people buy things. I was like, maybe I'm into psychology. So then I switched course. I had to finish the year, by the way, which was so long. Finished the year and passed to then switch the course. So I did that, did psychology. Then I was like, maybe I want to be a therapist. And I was like, actually, I don't think therapy, like I do agree with a lot of therapy, but I feel like there's a bigger picture sometimes that gets a bit missed with traditional styles of therapy. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to do that. And also I'm a very empathetic person. I don't know if I'd be able to cope with like just, trying to help people all the time. I'd be trying to figure out their problems like at 3 a.m. in the morning. So I don't know if that'd be a good fit. And then my dad took me to my first yoga class, and I think I just kept going because I was really anxious at uni. Very anxious.
My mouth was full. Sorry, it made me laugh. I'll let please don't look at me while I'm eating. Carry on.
But yeah, I was very anxious in 3rd year of uni because I just didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Yes.
And then going to yoga actually helped me because I was just like, oh, I'm feeling better after yoga. Why is that? And I was like, oh, maybe there's a connection between like mental health and yoga, and there's a lot of overlap between psychology and yoga. So then I just well, actually then, this is a long story, sorry.
Mine will be longer.
And then I started working at Gymbox on reception because my older brother was a PT there, and he got me the job. And I was just like, okay, and because I was seeing all of these yoga teachers come in and out of the building, that's what made me understand that yoga could actually be a career. And I was like, oh, people do this as a job, like that would be cool, I would love to do that. So I just booked my yoga teacher in Bali and went and came back and started. But I was like, when I think about that, so many things didn't happen, like if my brother decided he didn't want to be a PT and didn't get a job at Gymbox, I wouldn't have been on reception, I wouldn't have seen other yoga teachers and spoken to them. Also, if I dropped out of uni, or if I didn't choose psychology and I chose something else, I wouldn't have gone in that direction. And like, that was because of primary school, where like I didn't like any other subjects, mainly because the teachers were not great. And like, if I had a good teacher in like history or something, maybe I'd be a historian. I don't know. I might have just like really loved. Now I love history, but like back then I hated it because my teacher was so boring. There's like all those like little moments that led up to where I am now. So like thinking of these imaginary lives, I'm just like,
butterfly effect.
It's crazy.
And this is what we were saying earlier about like you can't really like pick where you want to go and just go there.
No, yeah.
Like life is not a straight line.
No.
You cannot, like, if you speak to any successful person and ask how they got where they got, there's always this windy, crazy path and just random opportunities here and there. So all you can do is like pick a direction and then
just
like
try
go that way and just see what happens.
What was your path?
So school, I was so depressed. I just would like study at home and then just show up, and I got good grades, but I hated everything. But because I got good grades, everyone was like, you must do science or maths at uni because that's the path, that's what you should do. If you're getting like A's, you can be an accountant, you can be a scientist. And I was like, okay, I guess I should do that. This whole time I wanted to do acting, but everyone that I mentioned that to made me feel stupid for having that dream. I was made to feel like that's a hobby or that's something you come back to after you've got your back up. So despite not knowing what I wanted to do at uni and wanting to have taken a gap year, I went to Imperial. I did biochemistry first for a term, hated it, switched to biology, started hating that too, finished the year, started second year, had a total breakdown, dropped out, went to live back home again. I don't even know what I did for that year. I think I occasionally waitressed. Then I tried again, and because I started second year, I couldn't get a full loan again. So I had to pick something that was partly funded. And because I was obsessed with food in a very unhealthy way, I was like, maybe I'd like to be a dietitian. So I did nutrition and dietetics and realised I couldn't work in a hospital because, like you, I take in everything around me and I couldn't shut off when I went home. I would be in bed crying because of a patient that I saw for 2 minutes. Like, I don't know how doctors and nurses do it. All I would do is go in and help plan their meals, but just talking to them for a minute, it was like I just couldn't deal with it. So I did the same thing, finished a year, and then I dropped out at the beginning of second year. But this time, when I dropped out, I got obsessed with this show called Once Upon a Time and had like a major crush on one of the actors on there. And so I posted a poll on Twitter and I was like, should I take my exam or should I book a flight? And obviously everyone online was like, book a flight. And because I'm really impulsive, I was like, okay. So I booked a flight and I didn't tell anyone I was going until I was on the way to the airport. And I went to the airport instead of my exam, like literally the day of my exam. And I went to Washington to meet an online friend. We drove to Vancouver, decided I wanted to live there at some point, travelled around for 2 years. Then you helped me get a job at Mob at the gym as well. And while working there, I met my current girlfriend, who happened to be working 2 minutes down the road. So if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have my girlfriend right now. And then she was a software developer. So I was like, this looks fun. And I got into that and did developing for a while. And now both of us live in Vancouver. So if you hadn't got me a job at the gym, I wouldn't have met her.
No.
I wouldn't probably live in Canada, and I probably also wouldn't have any savings. So like, thank you.
So funny. You're welcome. I tried my best. That's so funny. I love hearing people's stories of like how they got to where they are, because it's never a straight line.
Yeah.
No one's ever said, oh, I wanted to be this, I studied that, and then I guess some people have. But
some people do.
But like, it's very rare.
Good for them.
Yeah.
God, how do you do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how people do that.
How do you know what you want to be when you're a kid? You
I never
can't.
knew.
Like, you just get lucky or you don't, I think.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, weirdly, I feel like, I know in our cases it was close family that kind of directed certain bits of our life, but a lot of the time I feel like opportunities come up from acquaintances, or strangers, or like people you don't know. And I think that we forget that like that happens so often, because you know when you meet someone you're like, oh, how did you get the job, and you're like, oh, a friend of mine recommended me, or like this person recommended me, and I'd be like, oh, is that your friend? I'm like, no, I kind of just know them ish. And I'm like, oh, so like all these like what they call periphery like relationships that you have are actually so valuable, and like you never know where any of them are gonna take you or like recommend you. Like a lot of jobs I get are through, actually one that happened today was this girl who I met because I sat in a cafe I think it was 2 years ago, because I was waiting for a friend and she was late. So I sat in a cafe and this girl sat opposite me, and I think I liked her nails or something, and I just said, oh, I like your nails. And then we just started talking, and she was actually really nice. And then she just messaged me now saying, my company really want a yoga class, like, can you come in and teach me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. But like all of these crazy connections that you have, like the world, when you think about it like that, the world is literally your oyster. Like you don't know what's like one step away from you.
Even in terms of like what ends up being good, like where your relationships go, like through you, I ended up working at a place that like led to me meeting my girlfriend who I'm likely gonna marry and like spend my whole life with. Like that's a huge thing. And when I was in Vancouver as well, I met my current best friend who lives in Australia. Like we met there, and she'd rented like a big Airbnb, and me and my friend like we're gonna have to drive back to Washington because we had nowhere to stay. And she was like, why don't you just stay with me for the night? So we stayed with her. And you know when you talk to someone and you're like, oh, we're the same. Like, we're the same wavelength. And we became, like, instant best friends. And now I've got, like, this lifelong friend who lives in Adelaide, like, the other side of the world, who I never would have met if it wasn't for that one, like, day. That one offer.
It's honestly crazy.
So it's so important to just like say yes to things and just like be like just do things that you like, because you're gonna increase the chances of meeting people who are like you. Like if you're living your life authentically, you're much more likely to bump into people who are similar.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like so many of the things that I've got in my career are from going to events that like are like wellnessy events and meeting people and talking to them, and then something happens through that. And it's like you need to open those doors for yourself. You can't, if you just sit inside and don't go anywhere, you're not going to open those doors. Like that's not going to happen. And it's just like by going out and just simply having a conversation, even just like being friendly with people in the street, like saying, oh, I like your jacket or whatever. You might be able, or sat next to a girl in a coffee shop and just complimenting her and chatting. Like you don't never know where that can lead you. And it's so like, it's inspiring when you think about life like that, because you just don't know. And it is also motivating, like you said, because you just can't like decide something and then like there's no linear path to it. You just have to be open to opportunities. I think that's the best way to like move forward.
You know, one of my favourite affirmations.
What is it?
Or it's not even like one particular sentence, but it's just the idea of asking when you wake up in the morning, like, what's the weirdest way that like things could work out for me, or the weirdest way I could come into money. I feel like every time I do that, something really weird happens and I get what I wanted in the most roundabout way. Whereas when I try to manifest something in a specific, like if I just want something and I've got in my head the way I think it has to happen, it doesn't happen.
I think that's it. I think people think manifestation works in a certain, and I used to think this as well. The first time I heard of it, I was like, if I just like think that I want a car will disappear. And it's like, no, it doesn't quite work like that. You have to like have an idea of what you want and then be open to things. And when you kind of bring yourself into the world and you are more receptive, you're more what's the word? Receptive. Yeah. When you're more receptive to things that are happening around you, you're going to notice things more, and then you're going to pick up on things, and then like all this like the synchronicity stuff that happens all the time, you attract those things. And like I know it sounds woo woo and crazy and like, oh, manifest your life and whatever,
but it's true.
It does work.
There's so much evidence, like it's happened too many times and too many weird ways to deny it. There's like serendipity after serendipity.
Exactly. And it's just like you just need to, I think the way you carry yourself in the world is so important. And that's why I know a lot of people say this, but like the work always starts within you. Because if you're going out into the world being like, I'm unlucky, I'm miserable, I never make friends, I'm not going to meet the love of my life ever, you're already putting that wall up. So you're going out into the world having this like wall around you. If anything comes up to you, if you're feeling like that and someone comes up to you and just says, hey, I like your jacket, you're going to be like, oh, who are you? Go away from me. And that could have been the love of your life. You never know. Like, you have to kind of be open into those things. You just don't know. Like, I think, if you go out with barriers down and you're like, throw things at me today, see what happens. Like, I think that's the best way.
Like, you're more likely to go for things that you wouldn't go for if you were feeling down about yourself. If you're feeling confident and open, then you might be like, okay, I'll just try these things. We'll see what happens. Rather than that will never happen or that will never work out, so I won't bother.
That's what I mean. A lot of the times we put those barriers on ourselves. Like, we're the ones who put the barriers up.
Yeah.
And like, we put ourselves in boxes, and I think I used to do this as well. In my head, when I was younger, I was like, I'm not a confident person. I'm shy, and like, I'd reiterate those things to myself all the time. And then I'd put myself in situations where I did feel shy, and I would be shy because obviously, like, I'm like, oh, I'm just that type of person. And like, if you asked me 10 years ago and told me to stand up in front of a group of 30 people and teach a yoga class, I would say absolutely not, and I would run out the door. I'd be like, that is like horrifying. I could not stand and do that. But it's just like little bits over time slowly like softened me, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. And then you just end up trying things. If you say you can't do something, you're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yep. Like, I hate when, and I know sometimes you rant because you want to rant and you don't always want advice. Fair enough. I do that sometimes. But sometimes people ask for advice and then they have a reason why every piece of advice can't possibly work for them. It's like, oh, well, that won't work. And I'm like, why? Have you tried? And they're like, well, no, but this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like you've decided that you're stuck. So you're probably going to stay that way. Like, if you don't want advice, that's fine, but don't ask for advice. No. And then decide you're not going to take it because you've already decided it's not going to work. You know, you become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You
do. Like, how you think you are and how you think your life's going to be is probably how it will be.
Yeah.
This is our midnight question. At the end of every podcast episode, we're going to pick a card until we run out of cards. But I mean, that's a lot of cards. And basically ask each other a question and see what happens. So would you like to pick a card?
I win this one.
Wow.
I don't know if Mike picked that up.
That was a big belly rumble.
I think this was one from last week. Did we do this?
Yes, that's so weird. You picked the exact one. Oh my god, we have to talk about last week after the podcast. Emily has these dice.
Oh yeah!
And they like, what do they do? They relate.
It's like prophecy dice. Like, you roll 3 of them at the same time, and each number has a meaning, and the total number has a meaning. So you roll 3 dice, and then you read like the prophecy. It's just like fun. But you rolled it.
I rolled it, and I got a 5, a 3, and a 2. And like, you go to the paper, and it tells you what the 5, the 3, and the 2 mean. And we'll find it. We can maybe take a picture of it and put it up or something. But yeah, so that was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then you took the dice,
and I rolled a 5, a 3, and a 2.
We were like, that's really weird. How how common can that be?
What's the chance of that?
What are the chance of that? And then I was like, this is really weird. And my boyfriend was in the room, and I was like, Sam, come over here. Can you just roll these dice for me? And he was about to roll them in a different spot, and then didn't because he dropped one. And I was like, no, come over here and roll the dice. And he rolled the dice.
This is a magic spot.
We were like, this is a magic spot. He rolled the dice, and he got a 5, a 3, and a 2.
Like, that's insane.
That was crazy. It was like, how does that even happen?
You know, like, when I went home, I rolled them a bunch of times just to see, like, are they, and it was like different every single time.
These are not weighted dice.
It's just normal dice.
Yeah, but they literally had normal dice, 1 to 6, and it just and then you rolled it again.
I literally knew.
You picked it up and you were like, I just feel like it's gonna happen again, and she did it for the 4th time. It came out as 5.
You know, sometimes you just know.
It was
that
so
it's gonna
weird.
happen.
Yeah. And I feel like this stuff always happens with us as well. Like, it's really weird. Whenever we're with each other, things like that happen. Yep. Like, we'll just, pick certain things and everything will make sense. The universe aligns.
When you have those moments, I take it as a sign that I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, or I'm in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and the fact that we just have a whole deck of cards, we just picked the same card as last week, even that is crazy. Yeah. Right, so let's pick a different card. That was a big tangent.
Let's go here.
Okay. Fab.
Okay. What's one small step I can take today towards a goal that feels out of reach?
That's a hard one. I'm trying to think of what goal feels out of reach, because now that I've just did that little pep talk, I feel like nothing's out of reach.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one. One goal I do want to do is I want to live abroad at some point in my life, and that is a very scary thing for me because it requires a lot of change. And I don't know what one small step I could do today would be. Maybe it could be I mean, I can't really like
learn some Italian.
Yes, so Italy is the place that I kind of want to go. Actually, yeah, that's what I can do, because part of the reason I want to move to Italy for a little bit, even if it's just like a year or 2 years or something, is so I can sort of go back to my roots, because I'm half Italian, and also I really want to learn the language, and I feel like it's so much easier to learn language when you're in the language or in the country.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing for me. And I have been debating getting an Italian tutor, because I've got Duolingo, but I mean, I feel like
if
I need
you do
proper
that
lessons.
online, I would be happy to join you.
Should we do it together?
Genuinely, yeah.
Let's do it.
Because I promised Nonno today that when I come back in summer, I'll speak to him Italian.
Let's do it. Let's literally do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, that's one small step today. We've agreed that we're going to do Italian lessons
exciting.
together. Amazing.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, you can answer the question now.
I've had longer to think about that now. So my goal that feels out of reach is finishing my book. So I've been trying to write this. It's a fictional book. It's like fantasy genre. I have a rough outline for the first half. But my problem with, and this, I've done this, I cannot tell you how many times I've started writing a book and the first half is planned out and it's like amazing and I'm like, this is great, I love this. And then I just cannot plan, I get bored and I just cannot plan the ending. So I've been writing this book for years. I have not even looked at it in months. And I think one thing I can do today is read over the outline and remind myself what I had, and because I think now it's become so overwhelming because I've forgotten most of it now. I feel like I've got to read all 100 pages that I've written again to remember what I have before I can carry on. So I'm gonna refresh my memory today.
That's great.
And
That's
try
a great
and
idea.
just like, I just want to write like one paragraph.
Yeah.
Just to get back in the like
I like
flow.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that chat.
That was cute.
Yeah. I always feel like I've had a therapy session.
I know, me too. That was great. And being in bed is so comfy.
Yeah, I like this
So
setup.
this is great.
So next time we post a podcast,
It's going to be slightly different because Emily's going to be in Canada and I will be in here. So
I'm gonna buy some nice bed sheets and make my bed look a bit prettier, and then I'll be posting from there. So we'll figure that out.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Cheers, our snack bowl that we never seem to eat. Cheers.
I mean, I ate quite a bit.
I did eat some of those. Yeah, these were easier to eat than the bourbons. They were difficult last week.
Yeah.
Well,
But I forget. I eat with. I talk with my mouth full. And it's a bad habit to break when we're on a podcast. Yeah.
that was great. My belly is rumbling. Can you hear it? It's so
Like
loud.
answering my.
I know, literally. But yeah.
Cool.
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 See you in the next